Hey guys, it's Dr. Dan, and today I wanted to talk about the importance of having an organized and stable spine. So what that means is that we're going to talk about posture today. A lot of times when I go out in the community, we do free posture exams. And no one's ever came up to me and asked me and said, hey, I have great posture, I don't need to talk to you. They usually shy away and say, oh, I have terrible posture. And they really don't do anything about it because they don't have the information, and they don't know how to change it, and they also think it's going to take a lot of time to do that. And those are two things that are farthest from the truth. So today I'm going to show you how easy it is to have good posture, how to stable and have an organized spine, as well as keeping that spine in the neutral position, as well as why we should prioritize that. So there's four main reasons why I recommend having a stable and organized spine. And the first reason is because we want to decrease the amount of insult and injury we put on our nervous system. So everyone always thinks that posture is, an achy back, or it causes tight back, tight neck, tight muscles. But really, it's more than that, because when we talk about posture, we talk about spinal alignment. And our spine is what protects our nervous system. So if our spine is in a compromised position, so will our nervous system be. Now, the second thing that's really important to prioritize this is because we want to increase joint range of motion. So obviously, if our joint is supposed to, go this far and it only goes this far, obviously that's not a good thing. So no matter what we do in life, no matter what we have, if something is supposed to do something and it doesn't do it, there is no outcome besides bad that's going to occur. So we want to make sure we restore proper mobility in those joints. The third big reason that we want to prioritize this is because we want to move safely and effectively between two different motions. So really what I'm talking about here is when we bend over and pick up our kid, or we're carrying our laundry up our stairs, reaching to put our groceries in the top cabinet. These are really easy, typical, everyday motions. However, we're having a hard time doing that. A lot of times people come into my office because they bent over and picked something up wrong, and now they're having pain. And when we have a stable and organized spine, we're not going to have injury there. And last but not least, the reason why we should have prioritize this is because it buffers out the times that we're forced into these terrible situations. So for example, I want to go to Arizona for New Year's Eve, and I'm going to be forced to sit in an airplane for about 6 hours. There's no way of getting around that. But if I practice and focus on having a stable spine throughout all the other days of the year and make sure that, we're really prioritizing this, it's not going to make my vacation, or it's not going to stop me from enjoying my vacation. So those are four main reasons why we want to focus on having good posture. Now, it's really easy to have good posture, and we're going to run through this. And there's only about 5 steps in this sequence, and if you do it 10 to 15 times a day, you're going to notice amazing results. The benefits are, really kind of astronomical. So all we're going to want to do is, when we think about a perfect posture, we think about good posture, we always think about standing up straight. So we're always in this kind of slouch position, and then we overcorrect and we go into extension. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to go from this flex position to this overextended position. We want to make sure that we have that neutral spine. And what that means is that our ears are on top of our shoulders on top of our hips on top of our knees, and then of course on top of our ankles. So it's really easy to start this off. All we want to do is put our ankles directly below our hips. So that's it. That's the foundation here, okay? Next, what we want to do is we want to engage our pelvic stabilizer. So all we have to do is squeeze our glutes, squeeze our butts. That's all that it takes, okay? So we have our ankles right below our hips, and then we squeeze our glutes. The next step that we want to do is bring our rib cage over top of our pelvis, okay? Now there's two really common mistakes that people do. They try to squeeze in their stomach, or they try to suck it in. Those are two things that we don't want to do, okay? So what we want to do, make sure ankles, hips, and then we want to squeeze our glute, take a deep breath in, let it all out. And as we exhale, we want to bring our rib cage over top of our pelvis. So it's not a squeeze or a suck in it. And that will actually position our rib cage over top of our pelvis, okay? And you'll know exactly what you're doing. It's going to feel completely different from sucking and squeezing in, okay? After that, so once we have our rib cage on top of our pelvis, we want to make sure our shoulders are aligned. So we always have this rounded forward shoulder position. Now we want to make sure that our shoulders are externally rotated. That's really simple, just having our palms up and our thumbs up. And then we want to bring our shoulder blades back up against the posterior part of our rib cage. Remember, so when we're in this position, everything's flared out. We want to bring it back up against the rib cage, and we want our thumbs and our palms up. A really easy way to stand, to have that position, is just put your hands just like this. The last thing that we got to do is stop having this forward head posture. We want to bring our head right back over top of our shoulders. It's as simple as that. In that last position, when you bring your ears on top of your shoulders, you're going to feel all that tension kind of go away. So if we do this 10 to 15 times a day, and we start making it a priority, we start making it a habit. And that's really where it comes into play. So if we have this stable, organized spine, you're not going to be coming into my office because you bent over and picked up your kid the wrong way. Or, you know, you're not going to be suffering from pain shooting down your legs just from across the, going on a flight for 6 hours. So those are 5 easy steps to have an organized spine. And trust me, if you prioritize this, this is going to save you from a lot of aches and pains.